Have the night off, but are a half game back of Houston for third in the West. They head out on a 4-game trip this week, starting in Chicago. As things are currently slotted, they'd be up against the Utah Jazz in the first round of the postseason. This was a Portland team that has been obviously guard dominant in terms of their offensive attack, very perimeter oriented. Nurkic had become more of a solid third scorer for them in addition to what he does on the other end. How big a blow is this to what they can accomplish in the postseason?
I think Nurkic and Cantor, what they provided for you as a third and fourth scorer, made them a much better basketball team heading into the playoffs. Now you're dealing with Cantor, who can score on the block and being that resource for a guard-dominant team. So I wonder where they're going to get that production from, because Nurkic is playing at an all-time level for himself. And giving them that push that they need coming to the playoffs to be a real threat to be able to win some games and advance in the playoffs.
So going back to his time as a freshman at Gonzaga, everybody said Zach Collins should play more. Why doesn't he play more? And he left school and he went to Portland. He was very young. He wasn't quite ready yet. He needs to be ready now. This is his opportunity to step to the fore and be what they are hoping he's capable of being. He's not ready quite yet,
right,
but he has upside on both sides of the ball that they're going to have to count on. And it's a incredibly damaging injury and devastating for Portland, because you're right, he and Cantor have been tremendous bookends for each other in terms of their ability to continue to score in the paint. The irony of Nurk having 32, 16, 5, and 4 in the game that he gets injured in, that Nurkic with that Blazer team takes them a very long way in conjunction with those guards.
Absolutely. He was dominating late in that game. Jared Allen had fouled out for the Brooklyn Nets, and they were literally going to him on every offensive possession with Jared Dudley trying to guard him.
He fouled Allen and Ed Davis out of the game. So they had literally 6'6.5" is the biggest player they had on the floor.
Yeah.
And they were just milking the Bosnian beast. And it is amazing. He was everything you would have wanted him to be. And then it was taken away from the Blazers. Yeah. That's a big loss.
Just brutal.
Yeah, like he was having one of his greatest games this season. He was providing the interior force. They had no answer for him. And to go out at that point in time of the game is demoralizing for the team and them moving forward with the playoffs coming up. I just hope they can fill that gap with some type of offensive presence, because they're going to need it.
I always wonder what it's like for players when something like this happens. I don't know what the worst injury is you ever saw in person, your team or an opposing team, but we were talking about this last night on the broadcast. They're in the second overtime, right? I mean, this has been a hard-fought game, and this happens, and they've got to finish the game, like come out and play basketball like it matters in the context of this.
He had an injury where all the players on the floor feel that injury, and even the players at home that watch it, they feel that, and you feel for him and the team. It takes a lot out of the game that's already important to both teams. So, like, you just have to be prepared to move on. You try to use the injury for type of team morale going forward, try to win for him and try to push you guys through, because this is going to be a tough spot for him to be in, to be able to work past this and move on in his career.
Dante, as a teammate, when you play with someone like this who's injured, how important is it that Damian Lillard be the star of your team, a guy who gives no quarter whatsoever, makes no excuses? What's it do for you when your leader is Damian Lillard?
It gives you hope that we're okay. A guy who doesn't take plays off, a guy who's always going to be the rock, who's going to be the foundation, who's going to come and bring his hard hat every night. As long as you have him, you know that you can push through this and possibly still stay on the same agenda that you had. But if it went the other way, if it was Damian Lillard, then you'd really be in a problem.
Nurkic again had surgery today. No timetable, obviously, at this point for his return to basketball. A full recovery, whatever that means, is expected for him. But we've seen with Paul George and Gordon Hayward, it takes a long time, even after they're back on the floor. Much more.